Happy Monday and welcome into the Sporty Show. A pleasure to have you with us as always. I am Sarah Pararia and it was another busy weekend. Lots of football to discuss. So let me introduce to you, it's the one, the only, Mr. KlintonCod.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Y'all doing all right? It was a beautiful weekend to speak about football as usual. Let's speak about the good, the bad, and the ugly before we get into it all. I introduce Alex Ashmore as usual. Alex, what's up, man? New bow tie, trying to be like me, matching T-shirts as well. What's going on, mate?
No, doing well. Lots of exciting football at the weekend, as you said. Some good, some bad, and some very ugly.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a lot of football here this week on Sporty TV. Coming up right after today's show, we have LaLiga Hypermotion with Mirandes taking on Alex Ashmore's Malaga. So stay tuned for that. In the Saudi League tomorrow, we have Al Khalij versus Ronaldo's Al Nasser. EFL Championship sees Millwall versus Cardiff. Back to the Saudi League on Wednesday with Al Ittihad taking on Al Shabab and Plymouth Argyle versus Burnley. Thursday, we have EuroLeague basketball with Real Madrid taking on Baskonia. Friday, the A-League, Melbourne versus Sydney FC, Sheffield United versus Hull City, and back to the A-League on Saturday for MacArthur versus Melbourne City. EFL champion has Clinton's Luton Town taking on Millwall, and in the Premier League this week, it's Wolves. It's Wolves versus Arsenal. The Bundesliga match we have this week is Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Bochum. In the Liga Profesional Argentina, we have Platense versus River. In the Greek Super League, we have Lamia versus Aris. In La Liga, we have Athletic Club de Bilbao taking on Leganés, Serie A, Lazio, and Fiorentina. And finally, back to Argentina for Boca versus Argentinos Juniors. Lots and lots of football, as always. But here's what's coming up on today's show.
Today's Sporty Show gets underway by going over all the shock results of the weekend, including Manchester United's 3-1 loss to Brighton at Old Trafford. We also look at everything that happened in La Liga, as Real Madrid took advantage of Atletico losing and Barcelona drawing to take the lead in the standings. And we'll also go over all the footballing action around Europe's top 4 leagues.
Now, I don't know if some of you have, remembered all the way back in August, something happened here. I don't know if you guys have been with us since then. I know some of you have with the comments and we see who's watching. But all the way back in August, something happened. And something also happened last week once again. Take a look at this. Well, knowing you have Brighton around the corner,
Exactly.
I think that's
it does
one
a lot
big
for the
factor
mentality
here.
of the players.
No, but listen, when people say Brighton,
No. Because what we're not going to do is repeat, I'm having deja vu. In October, Manchester United are going to beat Brighton. Brighton have no business, and what happened?
Nah, but this is
Don't
Amorim.
do it again.
This
Fine.
is Amorim, though. This is Amorim, though. And mind you, Brighton isn't the Brighton we used to know. But let's continue.
Famous last words.
Before you guys put stuff on our screen, you guys need to be passing it through me sometimes. You guys should ask me if this is TV-able. Like, come on, man.
That was definitely TV-able.
Come on. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I can't even remember saying all that rubbish. Well, anyways.
I warned you. I said don't say it. And here we are again.
I don't know why I don't listen, man. It's my
Third time's the charm, maybe?
Oh.
Well, let's jump into Manchester United then. And another loss for Ruben Amorim's side against Brighton, no less, 3-1. Danny Welbeck, former Manchester United player, getting on the board here. And Andre Onana having a blunder of a match. Clinton, I feel like we say this a lot, but it's gone from bad to worse.
Well, you see, Onana has some kind of evil spirit in him. And I don't know why they would take that Pastor Kumoyi to Donald Trump's, whatever they call it, his prayers to become, or to, the swearing in to becoming an American president. They should be taking Pastor Kumoyi to Manchester United for that prayer. All that pastors we see praying and trying to usher this president into... Listen, I am tired, man. I am literally tired. Like, right now, I think Manchester United, there's no solution. Sometimes we can decide to say, okay, this is what the problem is. This is what, like, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. I literally don't know what the problem is. I'm speechless. I don't know. I really don't know. It's almost like, there's one step forward and there are 10 steps backward. They play one game, you feel like, okay, we're back. And if you notice my sentence, I'm not even saying we are. I've been saying they are back because I don't think I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm actually a proper Real Madrid fan. Okay, so I don't know why you guys are even channeling this question to me. Why are we not starting with Alex in the first place? Why are you not saying, Alex, what do you think? Why are you saying Clinton's Manchester United? I don't know why you're associating all this failure to me. First, when you were introducing the show, you said Clinton's Luton Town. Like, bro, that's a club.
You lived in Luton.
Bro, it doesn't mean that's my club. Bro, if you want to say Clinton's whatever, you want to associate anything with me, associate me with the big boys, Take me to Real Madrid.
Associate me with the teams that are only winning. And when they lose, then I'll jump back to the other team.
But if you notice, though, what I do is I give them time, okay? I give them time to kind of retrace their steps. I try to give them solutions. They don't listen, right? I mean, the truth with Manchester United is there is no solution anyways. Like, I've told them, actually, there is a solution. I've said it. I said they need to destroy the stadium and move it somewhere else. It's as simple as that. Take Old Trafford, just dismantle it, maybe build a church or some kind of cathedral. Just do something there. Go build a new Trafford somewhere. This is what I think might be this. Like, we need to start afresh. Everything just needs to change. Well, I'm glad that we did hear in news that Anthony is going somewhere. Manchester United fans were not surprised. He did a blunder in that game, and they said, okay, this is it. You need to go to Real Betis. Just go do something else. We don't care about you at this point. I don't know why it's even going on loan. Like, they should just pay whatever it is. Let him just go. Because these are not the caliber of players we need. How do you miss such a chance, for Christ's sake? Like, that chance, I'm telling you that Elena in that room will not miss that chance. Like, she knows. I'm sure she saw that chance and felt like, wait, which league is this? Because that's just absolute nonsense. Onana. Alex, I don't know, you're wasting off your height, man. You are. Listen, when I see Onana making those kind of errors, and you are even making me angry even more. Because why are you wasting your life, man? Are you telling me that thing Onana... Alex, you wouldn't do that kind of rubbish, though. No, you wouldn't.
I mean, I'm not sure, other than that, not making that mistake, I'm not sure I'm good enough as a goalkeeper to play.
No, but listen, that kind of error, a non-professional would not make that error, though. The ball came to you.
Weren't we telling you about Onana a couple of weeks ago and you were saying, my guy? It's my guy. Don't worry.
At this point, it's not my guy, man.
It's not your guy. Okay, well, let's quickly hear what the manager, Amorim, had to say after the match, and then we'll dive back in.
In 10 games in Premier League, we won 2. I know that. Imagine what is this for a fan of Manchester United. Imagine what is this for me. So we are getting a new coach that is losing more than the last coach. I have full knowledge of that. Like I said, I'm not going to change, no matter what. And I know we can succeed, but we need to survive this moment because I'm not naive. And I know that we need to survive now. So we are being the worst team, maybe, in history of Manchester United. I know that you want headlines, but I'm saying that because we have to acknowledge that and to change that. So here you go, your headlines.
We are the worst team in the history of Manchester United. But Alex, I'm not going to change. A bit of a weird one from Amorim here.
Yeah, and he's actually not far off being factually correct.
Yeah.
This is their 6th defeat in 12 home games, the most since 1893.
Same year Clinton was born.
I mean...
Low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, tell us, what was that like then? Compare the two.
Whatever.
No, I look at this United team, I see their performance against Liverpool, I see their performance in other games where we've seen really positive things from this United squad under Ruben Amorim and how he's slowly started implementing what seems to be like his tactics, his culture on the team. And then they go and play like that against Brighton. I think we have to give some credit to Brighton. Brighton played very well. They knew the United's weaknesses, what United's weaknesses were, and they played to those weaknesses, and they did the job. They scored 3 good goals, and well, 3 goals, 2 of them, I think, you look at defensive errors, and especially Onana's one, but I think generally, when you look at this performance from United, it's saddening. It's lackluster. I don't mind if you go out and lose it and you're giving it your all and you're flying into tackles and you're sprinting up and down the pitch, but you just don't see that from the United players. And I think it's too early to create a barrage on Ruben Amorim and get on his back, but he needs to start looking at the players that he wants to bring into this United team, because if they don't bring in better players, this isn't going to change. This isn't going to be something that improves in 2 or 3 months. This is something that's going to take time. And I think when you look at the squad that he's inherited from Erik ten Hag, some of those players aren't even fit to be playing in the Premier League. The level that they've been showing over the last 12, 18 months has been just shocking. And it's little wonder that they're getting pulled apart by teams in the Premier League. And we've seen them perform poorly across other competitions. So it's probably easy for me to say now that I'm not surprised, but I think there's a long road before United are back competing with the likes of Man City, Arsenal, Forest, Liverpool, Chelsea. And yeah, it's worrying times.
Just before I get into what Amorim said in that interview, which it kind of caused some kind of issues online, and people were kind of like trying to say, why would he make such statements, blah, blah, blah. You know, you mentioned something, Alex. You say most of the players are not fit to play in the Premier League. Could you give us just an example of some of these players you think are not fit for the Premier League at this point in Manchester United?
I mean, I go through the starting 11. Onana, for starters, don't think he's good enough.
Okay.
Perhaps not fit to play in the Premier League might be unfair, but not fit to play for Man United, a club that should be challenging for titles. Onana, to be honest, I've been far from impressed from Matthijs de Ligt's performances in a United shirt since he joined. Harry Maguire, I think, is probably one of the only few in that squad that's really showing a bit of something in that shirt. I think Lenny Yoro's too young to judge him at this moment. Mazwari, he has his ups and downs. Dalot, disappointing at large periods of the season. He has his moments where he's good, but you look at Joshua Zirkzee, again, he has his moments, but there are quite a lot of that squad where I think they should not be playing United. If they want to be challenging for titles, Onana's got to go. I think De Ligt's got to go. Dalot's got to go. Arguably, Joshua Zirkzee. And you look at some of the bench, the players that they've got in that squad, Mason Mount, it's hard for me to say this, but he's just not good enough. And it's a dire situation at that club. And for whatever reason, like you said, thankfully, for their sake, Anthony's gone, because he's just clearly not cut out to play in the Premier League. He's been perhaps one of the worst signings of the last 5 years for United. The output that he's had in a United shirt has been...
As well as how much it cost as well.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. And, I look at the bench. Yes, Garnacho, I think he's definitely got potential, but I look at the other players on that bench. Lissandro Martinez, I don't think he's good enough. Casemiro, he's past it. Eriksen's past it. It's either players who are hanging on to a last little bit of credibility, like Harry Maguire, who's still got that little bit left in him, or players who have been signed on a whim because, obviously they must have done their research on Anthony. How bad a signing has that been for United? He's been unbelievably shocking for Manchester United, and it's more than that. It's the club. You feel it was a sad day for the club. They were commemorating and paying their respects to Dennis Law, who sadly passed away. And you see some of the stuff. One bagpipe. Give it a bit more. Not even a microphone on the bagpipe. You see stories of them taking away season ticket holders from elderly people who can't go online and scan QR codes. They take them away because they don't go for 5 games. Taking away bonuses from stewards who are earning £100 a day, for example. They're lowering it to £50 a day. The stewards aren't the problem. It's left wingers earning 350 grand a week who can't seem to find a goal for love nor money. I'm not a Manchester United fan, but it's frustrating, and this club is in disarray.
Firstly, I think we need to give him some credit to Harry Maguire for the fact that he's listed all these players, and Harry Maguire at home at some point was the guy that everybody would have, found the gun to start, nailing to the cross somehow. It's the one who somehow, Alex has mentioned, he's still hanging on somehow, But, Alex, just you listing all these names, all these Manchester United players, and I'm kind of really agreeing with you, though. I didn't know Manchester United was that bad, just listing every single one of them, one after the other. Like, if you're mentioning players who are good for Manchester United at this point, you're probably not even able to count even 3 of them. Maybe you mentioned Amad Diallo, you even mentioned Garnacho, who we felt like, okay, he's somebody who has extreme potential, but he's almost like a wave. 1 minute he's the Garnacho that had that Ronaldo DNA that we felt like this is a Ronaldo reincarnated from Manchester United, and then he gets to the point where he's not even able to even complete one dribble, from that left wing, and it's just really shocking that this is where we've gotten up to with Manchester United at this point. Literally, I will tell you that Manchester United now, they are the worst team when it comes to popularity globally, right? So obviously, we know Manchester United, they are one of the most respected clubs in the world, right? They're almost like, they're not playing up to the level of Real Madrid, but we could easily put them on that same level when it comes to recognition, as a club. But when you're looking at the performance coming out of them, let's give Real Madrid as an example. There was a time it felt like Real Madrid was not the Real Madrid we knew, but they didn't come down so low that you are now at the other half of the table. It doesn't go that bad. And this is where we have Manchester United. They've changed coaches upon coaches. We've gotten now the best. At this point, you cannot even say the coaching is a problem. Because all these coaches, they cannot all be wrong. You can't tell me, everybody was like, no, Ten Hag is a problem, Ten Hag is a problem. And now I feel like every single Manchester United fan needs to apologize to that man. Because he went through a lot. Then you bring in a coach who was coaching a team that hardly lost a game. Created monsters. Now coming to your club, and my man has recorded more losses than he's probably had in the 2 seasons in his former club within just a couple of weeks. Coaching Manchester United. So it's not a coaching problem at this point. And now he comes on like, listen, we've got to give credit to this man though, because he's coming and he's been very brutal with his take. He's saying that, listen, this is the worst Manchester United team that has gone, that in the history of Manchester United. Do I agree with him? Of course. Should they have hidden such opinion? No. Why should he hide it? Oh, because I was seeing a few comments online. People were like, what's going to be how are the players going to take it mentally? Bro, get out of here, man. He didn't say it. What were the players doing? Maybe he should be saying these kind of things to see if they would buckle up. Because the truth is, these guys, they keep making coaches look bad. They are making good high-level coaches look like these guys are just starting off their career and they don't know what they are doing. Like if I was I'll give an example. If I was, say, Carlo Ancelotti, for example, or maybe even Xavi Alonso, in search of a club to go coach, and they say, yo, come coach Manchester United. If I was, I would be scared. Bro, I'll be scared because I will look at the people who have been through that lane. I know what they are capable of. Ten Hag in Ajax, you know what he did there. Amorim in Portugal, bro.
It's abysmal. That's the only way to describe it.
Let's quickly introduce Gary L. Smith and get his opinion on Manchester United. Gary, are you there? Hello! The launch of Sporty FM, Gary! Congratulations. Hi. Tell us about Sporty FM today.
Thank you.
Please do.
It was amazing.
Speak about Man U, please. Thank you.
We got the city on lockdown, and I'm not exaggerating. It was great. It was great. I mean, we've waited 60 years for this moment. We've never had a 24-hour. I was so surprised. I heard like in Spain, you have several 24-hour sports stations. Like we don't have any. We've never had any. So this is the first time this is happening here, and like it was really good. It was really, really, really good.
Pioneer.
Tiring. But
part of the revolution.
Yeah.
Now, congratulations, Gary.
The revolution.
That's very.
The revolution is being televised, isn't it?
I love it. I'm so happy, guys. Make sure you check out Sporty FM and all the hard work Gary and co are doing out there in Accra. Amazing stuff, Gary. But I'm sorry, we do have to talk about Manchester United. We just saw Ruben Amorim talking about how this is the worst Manchester United in possibly history, and that the three of us can't figure out what the problem is, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. And there are several players that Alex made a point are probably not up to par with the, once upon a time Manchester United standards. And I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I had Alex, I had Clinton. It's a combination of both opinions, really. First of all, it's a cultural thing because they've had too many coaches since Ferguson for it to be coincidence, for it to be anything other than systemic. What's in the system is not working. Well, that is for, the jury is out there, I should say. The jury is out there. But what we do know is that certain players do not belong to that great club, and they would not be lacing the boots of some of the players of yesteryear. And you have to question the signing of some of the players Alex mentioned. What's his name? Mason Mount is top of the mind. I mean, what were they thinking? That he didn't cut it at Chelsea, but somehow you are going to put that number of a jersey on him and he was going to cut it at Man United? What is his skill set? And how was he going to fit into the Man United system? I remember when he came in, that was the number one question any proper Man United fan was asking. What does he do well, and how is he going to do it properly over here? And you didn't have a real answer. And it's no surprise that till date, he's not been able to have, a consistent run of games because the managers won't trust him with what they are seeing. Even if they do, they would scratch their head and question themselves, a couple of times and ask, is he better than the option we have on the field there? And usually, I think over the course of the time he's been there, the answer has been no. So he's just one. Anthony has been just to be charitable, he's been bad. Let's just leave it at that.
Do you guys think, regarding Anthony and his move to Real Betis, you mentioned, on his way to Spain, do you guys think that he is going to turn his season around? Because there is a part of me that thinks that he will actually play much better in La Liga.
I'll go into this question just, first. Before I don't know if you wanted to put it out to Gary or Alex first, but let me just give you my opinion, right? You see, I said it before on this show, that before this players come to Manchester, they saw something in them. So they didn't just wake up and decide to say, let's start signing. Zexi, for example, when he came to Manchester, right, everybody knew who he was. Anthony, everybody knew who he was with Ten Hag. Like, I mean, even Mason Mount, that Gary mentioned, in my opinion, he wasn't even bad for Chelsea. He was one of the top guys in Chelsea, right? And all of a sudden, we just heard, okay, yeah, he had, I don't know if he had the injury or whatever, but we just heard he's coming to Man. Personally, I was happy when I heard he was coming to Manchester.
Of course, from Ajax, he was playing incredible there.
No, I've seen him do crazy stuff, right? Mention any player that has been signed to Manchester United that's not had any good history. They've all had good histories. Mm-hmm. They've had something good to show before they felt like, you know what, let's bring this guy to the team. Okay? They've all been good. But the truth is, there's just something off with Manchester United as a team that's just not working out. Now, it's not the coaching problem. I don't know if it's even, we can't even say the problem is even coming. Now, they're just not playing football. Something is just not clicking. Mm-hmm. And how do we make them click? We don't know. Physically, it's not happening. Maybe we should go spiritual. This is what I think. Because something has to be done. I've told you, listen, I know this might sound like a joke, right? But if the coach is not working, these players are arguably good players before they came to Manchester United. Maybe we should relocate. Go find a new stadium. Bro, maybe there's something about the pitch. There's something about the lights in the stadium. Like
the juju at Old Trafford.
It could be something. It could be maybe somebody buried something next to the gates.
But you know how you always talk about how players go to Chelsea and they fail?
Yeah.
But I think this is so much more Manchester United, and we're seeing it more. I mean, ever since Sir Alex Ferguson. But this was 12 years ago now. Sir Alex Ferguson hasn't been at the club since 2013. Think about the players. Okay, let's see Anthony. Let's see. Maybe he turns the season around. We don't know. Jadon Sancho, Paul Pogba, Angel Di Maria, Edison Cavani, Juan Mata, Alexis Sanchez. The list goes on. And they had a good career before. Yep. They went to Manchester United. Arguably, Alexis Sanchez fell off as, he was a bit older. But I think all those other players left Manchester United and then continued to play the football that they signed them for.
Exactly the same thing happened to even when Chelsea was a kind of deep in. At some point, this was Chelsea too.
I think so, but I think it's actually now more common with Manchester United. But maybe, like you're saying, there's just an aura. Like, I feel like, for example, Marcus Rashford, on his way out, Marcus Rashford has been in a bad headspace for how many years now? Like, I think these players are dealing with serious, mental struggles at Manchester. Like, it seems to me, because if I'm seeing this many players that were at a certain skill level, go to Manchester United and dip, and then leave and return back to that skill level, to me, it's quite obvious. You don't need to be a scientist. Obviously, there's something in this club where players are struggling to perform, and it seems like they're at their lowest point.
I'm telling you, Anthony will probably leave Manchester United, right?
And dance at Betis.
And his first game is going to give you a hat-trick. I'm telling you for real. Like, this is what happens. This is what happens. You see what you've just mentioned? The mental state attached to the club is just not working. Oh, now that we are complaining now that he was the worst, he's probably the worst goalkeeper you would have seen in Manchester United. He might leave. And then he will start catching two balls at the same time, standing in goal. Like, you'll be like, hang on, you couldn't catch one. How the hell are you able to control two at the same time? Like, listen, I think it's a mental problem now. They need to cleanse the club.
Yeah.
They literally need to wash off the club. Say, let's just build something new. It's not like the money's not there. They have everything it takes. Because if they're spending, how much? 85 million on Anthony. They're spending how many? 60 million on Lenny. Like, when you're hearing it, you know that, there is money. But actually, maybe all these people that they are bringing in, they are coming into a club where the mentality just isn't there. And when they come in, what happens? They become corrupt by the ones whom their mentality has not been destroyed. And then they just join the league. They just join the line. And that's literally what I think is going on with Manchester United at this point.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm telling you, if you bring Kylian Mbappe, maybe, okay, let me not even use Kylian Mbappe because he came to Real Madrid and the first couple of weeks, he's not, he's only just picked up. Okay, Haaland, let me give an example, Haaland. Bring Haaland. Okay, maybe Haaland, because of, maybe because of Manchester City. Let's say Isak. That's a perfect example, right? I'm telling you, bring Isak to Manchester United.
He's not scoring the goals.
How much are we saying he's worth now? Yeah, we are saying he's worth 150 million. I'm telling you, Isak, half a season. What am I talking about? Half a season. Quarter of a season in Manchester United. You start pricing him for 25 million. I'm telling you for real. This is what I think would happen. Manchester United needs total cleansing.
All right, well, Manchester United in action midweek, Europa League against Rangers, who are only 1 point behind them in the standings. Both teams are going to want to get those 3 points to try and get early qualification, as there's only one match after today. And they got Fulham on the weekend. It's not going to be easy for them. Let's jump to Arsenal and Aston Villa because Gary is only here for a few more minutes. Gary, controversy again with the Gunners, and Mikel Arteta wasn't happy about that one. Good goals all around here, but was that a goal for Arsenal? Should it have been 3-2?
I have it, you mean?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a goal.
All right, he's an honest man. He's an honest man.
No. These are the kind of Arsenal fans I love listening to, man.
It's straightforward. It wasn't a goal. It was so childish that he peeled over to celebrate. I mean, come on, what was he going to celebrate?
Gary, this was never going to be an easy game, obviously. Aston Villa, a very strong opponent. They've been playing well this season. We know some of their players are fantastic. Clinton's given all the praise to John Duran, of course, and Dibu Martinez, one of the best keepers in the leagues. I mean, a 2-2 draw, I get it's at the Emirates, but also I don't think Arsenal should be too upset with this result. This is a tough game for them. This is one of the top games.
We should, because at 2-0 up, you are almost out of sight, and you shut down.
Are Arsenal ever out
the
of
game?
Sight? There are certain teams where now it doesn't matter how much you go up. I don't know.
You 2-0 up, you are almost out of sight. You shut down the game. I mean, it's as simple as that. Show up, bring Partey from right back into into the midfield. Just let him help shore up the game, and so on. You open the game, Merino. Really, what is Merino anyway? Is he a defensive midfielder? Is he a central midfielder? Does anybody know what is he anyway? Seriously, serious question.
His natural position?
What does he do well? Yeah, what does he do well? Merino.
I mean, he's more of, you like to see him going forward as a player. I think he's, from what you've seen at Real Sociedad, that he's one of those players that contributes to the attack. He's perhaps someone that can not manage the midfield, but he's...
Almost like a 10 position.
Yeah, almost. And I think, and a lot of Arsenal fans, I've heard them criticising Mikel Merino and saying he's not been playing very well for Arsenal.
Not been playing, let's be honest.
He hasn't. Obviously, he's had his injury problems. But it's the same. You look at Rice, for example. I think there's a few different positions you could play Rice in. You look at quite a lot of the positions that Arsenal have, and yes, to be fair, they have a lot of injuries, and I think that doesn't help. But it's really just lacklustre. A game like that, you're 2-0 up. Yes, it's Aston Villa. Aston Villa are a fantastic team. They've got brilliant players. But if you want to be considered a good team in the Premier League, you should be able to hold on to a 2-0 lead at home against anyone.
Yeah.
Who are we considering a good team right now in the Premier League? Because I'm thinking about some of these teams and I'm thinking, okay, Arsenal, they could lose a 2-0 lead. Spurs, absolutely. Nottingham Forest, maybe not. Chelsea...
Arsenal want to be where Liverpool are. If Arsenal want to be considered by Liverpool, like Liverpool, they should be able to hold on to 2-0 lead.
I think that's the thing.
I don't think holding on to it too. I mean, it's just 2 goals. Come on, like holding on to it too. It's literally just happened to Madrid a couple of days ago with
Celta Vigo.
So that was. No, this is Real Madrid.
You're 2-0 up.
Yeah,
and you concede 2 goals in 10 minutes. That is. Yes, it can happen, once in 100 games, once in 50 games. But to concede 2 goals in such a in such a short amount of time, it shows that you're not cut out to be playing and challenging for titles. Because
no, but you got to consider the team they're playing though. You see,
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Well, no. If you said that, then you're 100%. Because for me,
you thought Aston Villa were going to win this game.
Listen, for me, I would even say, what even happened to Real Madrid? I should even be saying, hang on, this is meant to be the best team in the world. If Celta Vigo comes back 2-0, or new, having the kind of team you have. But this is Aston Villa, Arsenal, and this is not the best Arsenal that we've seen.
It's a depleted team.
So far.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, you look at the first half performance from Arsenal. Good. There were 2 goals up, 2 goals to the goods. With what? 40 minutes left, 30 minutes left. I think Villa scored in the 60th minute. Those 2 goals, yes, Villa are a good team and they've got fantastic players. But you watch the first goal, for example, who on earth is marking? They're leaving players in space. There's a cross going in. With half an hour to go, everyone to a man. If you're doing zonal marking, you should have that area covered. If you're doing man-to-man marking, you should be sticking to your man like glue. To leave someone open in the penalty area so close to the goal with 30 minutes left is just unacceptable, and it's not good enough if you want to be challenging for titles.
Gary, I know you have to go, so I just want to ask you quickly, obviously you're not happy with this, but tomorrow there is a big match for Arsenal against Dinamo Zagreb. How do they turn it around and get a comfortable win, let's say?
I said before the Arsenal game on our last show before the weekend that I thought Arsenal needed to win this recent game that we could only draw because it will signal that we are serious about the title chase, and it gives us a momentum which we have sorely lacked for a while. We are back to square one again. The draw felt like a loss to a lot of the players if you listen to them critically in the post-match, and it's really, really sad at this position again. Dinamo Zagreb again gives us an opportunity to regroup, to power up, and to take things to the next level. We need the winning run of games. It's so vital. It's so important for Premier League and for Champions League qualification next year as well. Yeah.
All right, Gary. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We know you have to go, so we'll let you go. But congrats on Sporty FM. We absolutely love to see it.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, let's move through these Premier League games so we can jump to La Liga as well as a little bit of Serie A because we got to run here. Okay, can I just say I thought the game of the weekend was Bournemouth and Newcastle?
Justin Kluivert, eh?
No, this was quality. This was incredible scenes.
Yeah, but you would also still say Everton and Tottenham was another one, though.
I think I expected that more because it's Spurs.
No, but yeah.
I think because Newcastle has just been on such a but David Moyes' second match in, you know, obviously there's a little bit of motivation there. But guys, look at this: Spurs 15th place, Everton right behind them. I mean, it's
with the game in hand.
With the game in hand. No, it's looking grim for Spurs. Check in on your friend Noah.
I'm still getting so pissed that I'm seeing Manchester United just around that horizon. I can't believe this. Man. This is like, hang on, wait. Let me look at. Wait, what is Forest doing there for Christ's sake?
If you guys lose a game and West Ham and Spurs win their next game, you guys could be in 15th.
Which is very possible.
Absolutely. Can you? I can't wait for Spurs to play Manchester United. Relegation battle.
The prospect for two.
This is crazy, you know.
The prospect of two of the so-called Big Six to finish inside the bottom half of the Premier League table this season is quite likely. I mean, how unbelievable is that?
No, bro, nothing to do with that.
No, it's incredible. But Newcastle's run now comes to a close. No Isak this time, but what a performance from Bournemouth. Justin Kluivert getting a hat-trick. I mean, it's just exciting to see because Bournemouth, you know, just creeping into that European contention. They're now in 7th, but they're tied with Chelsea for points.
1 point behind City. A win.
1 point behind City and tied for Chelsea. Chelsea obviously play Wolves tonight, so we'll see what happens there. But it's every match is now, the Premier League is on absolute fire, and we're seeing, you know, these so-called smaller teams, you know, making these runs. Forest, Bournemouth, of course, Newcastle's in there. Brentford, I know they're mid-table, but they nearly held Liverpool, and all of a sudden Darwin Núñez said, Clinton, I know you're watching. I'm back. But I'll be honest, I'm really happy for Darwin Núñez. I always am happy to see him score because he usually goes through these droughts, and then when he does, it's good to see.
If he hadn't scored those goals.
Oh, well, it would be a different story.
Nah, come on, man. By now, he would have been in court. They would have literally been sentencing him to some kind of death by hanging or something.
Yep.
Because, bruh, and you know, that's why they say sometimes just don't give up on people, because at some point, it was almost like, yeah, this guy is going to be jailed, and boom, 2 goals.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, I'm happy for him, though, because you see, another thing is, when you look at how much the hard work you see him put on the pitch.
He's trying his best.
No, I just feel like he does deserve it at times, you know.
Yeah.
You know, at least just for his hard work. He might not be the best finisher. Come on, man. Like, if we're talking about finishing, we'll come back to Anthony again. Like,
if Darwin
look at
Núñez had better finishing, he could arguably be one of the best players in the world.
Best strikers in the world, actually.
He gets himself in those positions, but more often than not, you can see it playing back in your head of that. The images of Darwin Núñez going like that, holding his head because he's missed a chance.
Listen, his positioning, his speed,
his height,
link-up play,
his physicality.
No, he's got everything. It's literally just the finishing.
I know.
If he has it, we'll be talking about something entirely different now. We'll probably be speaking about him. We'll speak about Isak and co.
I think I do something from that game. One of the takeaways I like is Thomas Frank, after the game, was speaking about his performance, and he said, you know, verbatim, I think we played pretty well against the best team in the world. And I think that's something for those teams like Bournemouth, like Brentford, that when you play against those teams, sometimes there are moments where you can do absolutely nothing. And they are the best team in the world for the reason. They are, you know, you look at the teams that are at the top of that Champions League table, they're there for a reason because they have those moments where they're just unbeatable and no one can stop them. And Brentford are a solid team, but sometimes those moments, and Liverpool had one of those moments, luckily, 2 goals in the last, in stoppage time to get the win. And I think sometimes it's important to separate those moments and realise that you just can't do anything about it sometimes.
Flip side of the coin really quick before we move on. Are we starting to see cracks in Liverpool? Obviously, they drew United. They lost to Spurs. They drew Nottingham Forest. you see these games where, I mean, the game against Forest, you could argue Forest should have won that game. The game against Brentford could have drawn that game. You know, there's just these, we're starting to see, it's not as convincing anymore. And I know we're getting to that Liverpool's favorite time of the year, February, because that's when Liverpool love to lose points. But I'm starting to see just little cracks, and the Champions League is only going to get harder and harder from here.
No, absolutely. For me, I feel like this is obviously this is the second half of the competition, and this is where everybody's trying to kind of like get every single point as possible, even if it's 1 point to add to 1 point could literally save you from the relegation, you see. So I feel like, this is injury time, whether we like it or not. Like every single 1 point does count. And this Liverpool that has been on this they've not really been the Liverpool from the first half of the season, right? Like you said, there's not cracks.
There's a bit of a,
you know, there's now that whole, you know, could they win the game? You know, or are they? As at the first half, it was they're definitely going to win. Now, which team is going to come? Liverpool, they're the best team in the Premier League. Actually, we said they were the best team in the world. Right now, it's not getting to the point where the doubt is beginning to come in. If they are facing an average team like, say, Crystal Palace or, say, Fulham, we don't know. They could draw.
Well, they got to play Lille tomorrow in the Champions League, and Lille have given some big teams a little bit of a run in the Champions League. So it's not going to be a walkover for Liverpool. So let's see how they do.
The big thing is they're still getting the results. Yes, they may not.
Sure. But for how long?
Every team that I think most of the time, when you win a title, you go through a period of time where you're not going to be playing your best football. The important thing is you pick up results. In their last 10 games, their only loss, Spurs in the Cup, which doesn't mean anything for the Premier League. You look at these last few games, they didn't play their best against Brentford. They got 3 points. They drew with Forest, who are arguably their nearest challengers at the moment for the title, along with Arsenal and Man City. They drew with a United team who played really well on the day. They beat West Ham, they beat Leicester, they beat Spurs, they beat Southampton. They drew with Fulham, who are a very good team to play, have gone to Stamford Bridge and beaten Chelsea. They're picking up points when they're not playing their best football, and that's what champions are made of.
I know, I'm just saying the cracks, because I'm wondering if the water is going to start flowing through. But let's see, Liverpool undoubtedly still the best team in Europe, but lots of time. Let's move along to La Liga. And we were all at 3 matches. And let's try and talk about maybe these 3 teams together, because they kind of all coincide with one. And also, we don't have time, because I do want to talk about a game in the City as well. Barcelona drew Getafe. Atletico lost to Leganés, and Real Madrid beat Las Palmas. So Real Madrid has now gone top of the table. Atletico in third. Atletico in second. Barça stay in third. We were all at a game. It was a busy weekend. I don't know where we want to start, because I know you have a lot to say about Madrid.
No, I have a lot to say about Barcelona.
Go for it.
Oh, man, Barcelona. Where do I start from? I don't know if I should speak about Barcelona or speak to Sara. You see, I'm so short of words because I feel like Barcelona, there's just some overhyped team. Sara, sorry to say, with all due respect, this is what I think.
I'm not a Manchester United fan. I'm not phased. Thanks so much.
I don't know why you're speaking about Manchester. I'm not a fan either. Like, I'm just about to speak about
Alex, I don't know if I'm having it.
I am just about to
next week.
I am
win a game.
Okay. Can talk about Barca. Can talk about really.
Nah, but for real though, let's speak about Barcelona. I feel like Barcelona, they are just some overhyped team. I feel like Barcelona, they are that team that every single day they go out to train. Their coach says, forget about every other team in the league. You need to train to beat Real Madrid. And every other team that you beat in the La Liga is as a result of everything you've done to beat Real Madrid. If you're able to beat Real Madrid, the rest of it, we don't care. This is what I'm beginning to see from Barcelona, because how the hell do you play Real Madrid twice this season already? And you beat Real Madrid like they are kids. And then Real Madrid decides to say, you know what, hang on, I'm not going to come for you. I'm just going to send my younger brothers to go fight you. And the younger brothers, they are the ones humbling this almighty Barcelona that has the almighty Rafinha, that has the almighty, well, little but almighty Lamine Yamal that everyone seems to be talking about. Like for me, Lamine Yamal, he's probably top 3 right wingers in the world as we speak, right? I'm not going to say he's the best, because if you're the best, I don't know what you're doing in the 3rd position in the La Liga. You being the best, you should be heading that table by winning at least the smallest teams in the La Liga. How do you guys struggle to beat Las Palmas? How do you struggle to beat Leganés? How do you go to draw Getafe, for Christ's sake? Like, what is going on? And then you come to Real Madrid, you become the type, like, you play these puppies. You are a cat. And you go to play Real Madrid, you suddenly become a tiger. Why though? Why?
One thing about Barça and Getafe, because I know you don't know this, but Barcelona's record against Getafe at the Coliseum is horrible. The last time they beat Getafe at the Coliseum, September 2019. The last time they scored a goal, besides Saturday, September 2019. They hate it here. They hate it here. Jules Koundé after the game was so frustrated because obviously since he's been a Barca player, he hasn't won. But I know what you're saying. I know the big picture here. Barcelona are so inconsistent in the league. And this game they should have won, but they didn't. And I think it's making me think it's a little worrying for La Liga. Like right now I'm looking at Barca and I'm thinking, I think they have a better chance of winning Champions League than La Liga because we're talking about these one-off games and Barcelona are second in the Champions League. It's not, crazy to think. But why? I'm looking at Hansi Flick. Why am I seeing some games, like you said, that they're so convincing, they play like the best football in the world, and then other games, they're being completely shut down? I don't know. I'm looking at the manager, though, because I know these players have it in them. I'm not really sure.
No, because I've thought about this stuff so many times, and to me, it doesn't make sense. Because, how? Because when you look at Real Madrid, right? Yeah, I understand that people say, oh, it's only because Real Madrid, they keep playing that high line against Barcelona. And Barcelona, they obviously, they've got the fast players. They always count and then boom, it's very easy to beat. But then again, when you look at these other teams, they play Barcelona, looking at Barcelona as an almighty team. So they kind of like seats.
Yeah, they have 11 players in the back.
Yeah, they have a lot of players, which obviously is part of the game, right?
Of course.
But, knowing the caliber of players you have in Barcelona, right, I would still expect them to be able to cop something out. Like, even if it's at least get a 2-1 win from a Getafe.
Yeah.
Or win a Leganes. I'm saying that some of these players, they are coming from clubs where they don't even have printers. Some of the players probably don't have 2 football boots. Like, they've been playing on 1 boot for the last 2 years. And Barcelona, you're going there and you're struggling to beat. Bro, even I was looking at Getafe and my boy.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry,
Cristantus
Cristantus Uche, right? Like, if he was
a good striker.
No, hang on. For me, right? He's a very good footballer, right? But I feel like he still has a lot of work to do when it comes to being able to take matters into his own hands on that pitch. Like being able to make some crazy decisions instead of just look. Anyways, let me not go too much.
I think we have to remember he was playing 3rd division football last.
No, absolutely, he was.
He's not a striker naturally.
Well, but you could see that he has the potential.
Yeah. To be honest, I think you have to give credit where credit is due. Jose Bordalas, he sets up his teams to get a result. 22% possession, 190 passes. They did what they needed to do. They knew they had a plan, obviously, for how they were going to set up against Barcelona. And I think when you look at the way they performed, it wasn't the prettiest performance. It wasn't the most exciting, but they got a point. You saw him in the Copa del Rey, 2 sendings off, 17% possession. They got the result.
I think, unfortunately for Getafe, and even myself, the biggest takeaway in this game was, unfortunately, Alejandro Balde facing a lot of racism at the stadium. I was on the Barcelona side with the press, so I wasn't actually able to hear it myself, but we almost got an interview with Balde. Unfortunately, La Liga pulled him away, but he was very keen to talk to everyone, and he said that he was experiencing a lot of racism. He told the referee, apparently the referee told security and they went around and did, the protocol. But I think in these situations, players need to walk off the pitch because it's just happening so much. In fact, it happened on the same day on Saturday in a hypermotion game, Elche and Sporting Gijón. There was an issue for Bambo Diaby. He also said that he was experiencing on the same day. Like, I'm just saying, it's too constant. This is way too constant.
The only way to stop it is
walk off the pitch.
Dock Getafe 15 points.
Listen,
they won't.
No, but if you're a player, wouldn't you also say, guys?
Listen,
we gotta go.
For me, first of all, I agree with you, Sarah. I think players should maybe because racism is a very crucial conversation. It's very hard. Like I see no reason why anybody should go through racism. However, also, I don't see racism ending anytime. I think that this thing is good. I feel like racism is like
I don't think it's
HIV.
going to end any.
Like,
Oh, Jesus.
no, listen, just let me know.
But
It's true though.
If you dock
I think
Getafe
it's just
15, 20 points, their fans will think, well, I'm not going to... I know it's you want to teach them the right ways.
These racists don't care.
not-
That's what I'm
no,
trying to
but
explain
It's
to
not
you.
that we're going to end it just like that, but I think it's about doing more. Barcelona players should have walked off the pitch, and the game should have ended. And in fact, then you say Barcelona win that game just
Yeah,
based on the fact.
if you
I
make-
would agree with that one too.
But then do that. It's not. We're not saying that there's going to be more.
Make
No,
Getafe
you
racism.
see,
play 10
you see,
But you need to do something more proactive about it.
Dock
I
on 20
totally
points.
listen. I wish this would be some kind of regulation that they will put up because I see that working even more. But like I said, this thing, the reason why I made the statement to say it's here to stay is because I know that I don't see these regulators
Of course, it's.
putting up these kind of things.
Yeah.
Like left to me, if there's any kind of racial abuse going on, the fans are not allowed to get into the stadium again.
I think.
Literally, that's what I'm
I think
gonna do.
Getafe have to be punished. I know La Liga are looking into it, but yeah, really, really unfortunate for Alejandro Balde. And of course, we stand with him here. Let's move along to teams that lose to Leganés because Atletico, you can join the party.
Sorry. I know you want to go to Atletico, but before the time goes, we have to speak about Real Madrid, though.
Sorry, I'm sorry, but Real Madrid beating Las Palmas is not as big a news as Atletico losing a 13-game streak and being
Okay.
so unlucky.
Fair enough.
No, and also Leganés.
No, but I just want to speak about Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is giving me joy.
Okay.
Like, no, I just love him right now,
Okay,
man.
okay.
No, bro, I love Kylian. Kylian Mbappe.
You
I'm
can
just,
love him.
I'm
You
just
can
happy
love-
that my
I
man
know
is
you're
back.
happy. I know.
The guy
He's
is
here.
back.
He's here. I
Kylian
know.
Mbappe is back, bro. My man is killing it.
He's
He's
here.
killing it. Oh, bro. Oh, listen, I just like Kylian Mbappe. You are like, I love you, bro. I love you, bro. This guy is killing it. He's
No, he
bringing
is.
out the Kylian Mbappe that we know. I told you guys that this man will rise again, and when he rises again, nobody will stop my man. Kylian Mbappe. Mwah.
All right, Alex.
Hala Madrid!
Let's
Hala
wrap up, Atletico because we were talking just last week. They had a sneaky 13-game streak, unbeaten. 15, pardon me. But, they were so unlucky here. How many times did they hit the woodwork? But my Leganés making a meal out of it. Griezmann missing a penalty.
It was an awful penalty as well.
Oh, it
on
was
top of that.
shocking. It's not like them though. I'm not gonna, you can't have them all.
They
You
always
have
have.
bad days.
Yeah.
It was a bad day for Atleti, but tell us quickly about that game really quick because you were there.
Yeah, it just wasn't Atleti's day. I
Yeah.
spoke to Jan Oblak after the game and he said the energy was off from the start. And the look at the performance, again, Leganés, what they needed to do. They converted that one chance. Atleti couldn't finish for love nor money. They hit the post, they hit the bar. It just felt off from the beginning for Atleti and they just didn't have the luck of the draw on the day. And fair play to Leganés, a brilliant win. And I got to speak to the goal scorer as well, Matija Nastasic.
He's a nice guy.
Overjoyed. Renato Tapia as well. He was delighted with the win and it's fair play to Leganés.
In 15th place, sneaking out.
I do also think the way that Atleti play football, they are susceptible to those sort of results.
Sure.
They get the 1-0 wins against Osasuna. They may not play the prettiest. When it doesn't work, it sometimes can go the other way.
All right, well, we really tried to speed through that for you guys. Mondays are too hard. There's too much football. But tomorrow, Champions League is back, guys. We'll preview all those games. Very exciting. Atleti and Leverkusen. I'm going to be at that one. You're going to be at Real Madrid and Salzburg on Wednesday, but we loved Champions League. Lots and lots to talk about. Oh, really quickly, Napoli beat Atalanta. We didn't get into it. We'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. Another busy weekend and another Monday where we just don't have enough time. But guys, a pleasure to have you as always. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place. And as always, enjoy the football.
Kylian Mbappe. Te. Hala Madrid. Ooh.